TOMz.
It's exactly 4 p.m. Buffets, and that can only mean one thing. Teenagers on a Mission is on your screen right about now. Konalago SABC One Mzansi for show. This is the best science and technology show in the land, hosted by the two awesome bros. I go by the name Sia, DDY pronounced Caddy, and this is Sia.
Now you know us as the fast-talking guys that bring you nothing but the very best when it comes to sci-tech entertainment. Now, especially this guy. The nice thing, you don't just take in information by what we say, but also by what you see and read.
Yes, most definitely. And if I call Nukfunda, there's actually communication that is written in symbols that you can better understand. Well, this is universal, because in some African languages, you can actually represent a symbol that makes a sound in that language.
Yo, I get local possible ganjani. With that said, why are we still here?
Let's get this party started.
Here's what's coming up on today's episode of TOMz.
At first, it looks like a story in pictures. It's almost magic.
See how this amazing writing system is changing the face of communication in Africa.
About its origins.
We take a closer look at what a symbol writing is.
Where writing systems come from.
Let the future show you how our understanding of these systems is going to change.
Zama your own skill in this arena.
Tolakabanzi, how crazy the world would be if there were no alphabet for writing systems.
You? Where else was coming up for TOMz?
I get Bafethu speaking up on this now via our social media pages. Now on Facebook, Bafethu says, what do you use to communicate? Calvin, I am still old school, so I use my letters. Well, very nice Bafethu. I actually use my phone because it's the easiest form of communication. Well, very nice guys, keep those comments coming in on Facebook and on Twitter. Facebook.com/TOMz. On Twitter, we are at TOMz_SABC_1. With that said,
Hi, Buffets, still at it again, Buffets, on our road show. It's the same about the secondary school. Right next to me is a young lady. Has science and technology of Gajan. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Guy.
I'm too fresh. What's your name? Okay, I'm Caddy, ne? Okay, cool. So, do you read and write? Do you like reading and writing?
No.
Yes, a lot.
I like reading too much.
Okay, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book, Agricultural Science.
Okay. If me now basingakhona ukukhuluma verbally ne, basingakhona communicate verbally, ane, bokucama ukuthi sisebenzisa ini ukuthi mina nayo communicate.
Actions.
Actions.
Yes.
Okay. So if you would say hello, what's going on? Or it's hello, how are you? Bawuzosebenzisa kanjani ama actions ongitshengisa?
You want me to show you?
Yeah.
You could draw like
Okay.
Going to draw something that will tell her or him what I'm saying.
Nala resakhona ukwala.
Yeah.
Ukwala or bua ba botle. Ke tlo berekisa pampiri ra kwala ra bolela re kwala.
What else refers to reading and writing is alive and is an everyday practice in all of Africa. Sometimes we just fail to realize how unique and beautiful Africa is in this regard. You know what? Check this video out.
Now, almost kulumangama writing systems as Africa, we refer to both the current and historical practices of writing systems on the African continent. Namhlanje writing systems of Latin origin are common in sub-Saharan Africa. Arabic, on the other hand, is popular in North Africa. Oral culture and tradition has always been a central point of communication in Lana Africa, and although many might think that the languages of Africa only recently began having a written form, it has actually been written down for longer than we think.
The ancient Egyptians attributed in the invention of writing to the god known as Teth. In fact, many early civilizations considered writing to be one of a divine nature and a means to communicate between heaven and earth. The elites of those times often used this as an excuse to justify their rules over the illiterate people and refused to teach them how to write and read. In China, however, writing was attributed to the sage named Chiech, who was a minister in the court of the emperor. So the Latin alphabet is used in many words in many languages. They also use it in business and policy, which is English.
How are your English skills? It is on Facebook and on Twitter, and we will see you on the flip side of this.
TOMz. TOMz.
Welcome back to TOMz. You're watching SABC Mzansi for sure, where life and TV are one.
Most definitely. For sure you guys are reading the subtitles right now, ne? Or during the ad break you saw something with letters and numbers. It's possible for you to actually read that because so fundile how to interpret the same graphic the same way as everybody else.
Sounds simple, right? It gets really amazing, as in taking sound from your ear to a symbol onto a page. Let's begin that.
Sanbonan, Molwen, Tumelang, Abshen, Nda, Tobela, Itara, Yimi Ngupule, and we're here at Credo Mutwa Cultural Village, aka Kwakaya Lendaba. So thola khona indaba zezimpawu zesintu. Shukuthi siyazi ukuthi khona ama alphabet esiwabhala ngawo, but there's also izimpawu zesintu that people used to use emandulo nanamhlanje. Asifuna socaba ukuthi lento le sivela kanjani. Ispectre sohlamvu, meaning ispectre of the syllable. Uhlamvu is a syllable. So it's a writing system. Uhlelo lokuloba. Loba is to write, but it's also to create traditional markings on any kind of thing. So we developed this system based on traditional, what they've called Sintu symbolic writing. So la sikwa Khalendaba, Credo Mutwa Cultural Village, where in Credo Mutwa's book, in Daba My Children, you'll find a lot of the symbols pictured there, and uyachaza ukuthi these things, what do they mean? And so these things, we've taken it and expanded it into a system for writing any kind of words in any syllables for all Islims Zesintu, from Xhosa to Sepedi to Sipulana to Sipata to whatever language you can imagine in Southern Africa. You can write with the very same symbols without using ama alphabet, but with using ama peqe, which is triangles. The Department of Science and Technology approached us from our work with this peqe to promote the system, and they want to support this system because it ties in with innovations in technology, what we call indigenous knowledge systems. But we're going to meet with the grandson of Ubabamkhulu Credo Mutwa and Utaurai Mutake, who's working on these izimpawu zesintu and also on ispectre. Sanibonani.
Nkosi yami.
Yebo Pramzo.
Awuhamba kahle.
Sure. Makadi yenyu.
Thini kwenu makadiyo?
Yeah, nangu Pramzo wakhe uzositshela. Yeah, uzositshela ngale ndawo kwakhaya lendaba ukuthi ya usikhiphanda.
La mkhulu kakhaya lendaba. Kakhaya lendaba, this place was built at mkhulu ngo1974. Yakhiwa ikhehla elibizwa uCredo Mpumelelo Muthwa. Ingani ngimbiza Mpumelelo mkhulu, igama elithi vusamazulu, igama lakhe lophehlo. People abayazi lonto leyo. Le ndawo le wathi maka yakha wayengayikheli ukuthini, wayengayikheli ukuthi iAfrika kanjani, wayefuna ucacisela abelungu nama-archaeologists ukuthi nathi abantu abamnyama abansundu sinayo inhlakanipho, sazi izinto eziningi apart from ama-bushmen, nathi the bantu sinomlando wethu mkhulu. Ingakho nala azayenza isimboli yey'tethu. Ley'tethu lezi mkhulu uma uzibona khehla lami, it doesn't mean ukuthi uNkulunkulu unje, it doesn't mean ukuthi sithi uNkulunkulu unje. You'll go to Nigeria, find the Igbos, they have their own caving of uNkulunkulu umvelenqangi yena himself. Ingakho noma sithandaza sithini, sithi Jehova simakade sezulu nomhlaba. Futhi sesihloniphane, sihlonipha impande, the tree of life. The tree of life enye isimboli eyamandebele ileya. Njengoba ngisho mkhulu ukuthi le simboli le mkhulu male bese le mkhulu kuba female. Ingakho mkhulu, this one is going to represent your alphabet, bese le mkhulu it represent E.
A specific writing system is always associated with a specific language. For instance, we might use letters that look one way in our writing, but in Chinese writing it looks completely different. Amanyama symbols are not specific to a language, like the male and female signs on a bathroom door. Now these can become part of any language and are universally understood. Other types of symbols, like punctuation marks, can also be shared among languages. Even the same letters can be shared, but the order in which they appear make them mean something different. Okay.
Just explain to us, how did you get to have this topic for your honors degree and become inspired by the symbols?
Okay. In 2011, when I was still at the Zimbabwe Institute of Digital Arts, I read a book written by Professor Saki Mafundikwa.
Okay.
It's a book on African writing systems, and in there, what was most interesting was the symbols that I found in his book, where he was explaining about the symbols, the African symbols that were used in Southern Africa. Since young Africans do not know about these symbols, I thought maybe we should teach them and make people understand about them. We need to know about our culture. We need to know about where we came from and how we used to have this writing writing system going on. As a graphic designer, I decided, okay, I'm going to take these symbols and put them into contemporary visual space. And I decided to make a game for young kids, and also the games taking inspiration from the traditional games that we used to play when we were young. I took those games and I started putting value into the stones that we used to play with. So I put the symbols on the tokens. I'm making tokens which have the symbols, so at the end of the game you can be able to collect stories from these games. These tokens will have, I am still designing them, but in the meantime, we have the symbol in the middle of the token, and then at the back of this, we will have a stamp at the bottom of this. We will have a stamp that could help a young child tell stories with these symbols.
Because they're for telling stories,
Yes.
Yeah. So what is this symbol? What is the meaning of this?
The meaning of the symbol is home. So basically what he did was, from the original book Indaba My Children, there's black and white symbols in there. So what he did, he started adding color to these symbols to give them more meaning and to bring them into the contemporary visual spaces. Yes.
Yo, Ndwana, it's almost like art when you look at it, again.
Yeah.
So meaningful at the same time, so expressive.
While sathatha ikhefuke bafethu mina ngifuna nisitshele on social media ukuthi kahle kahle bengabanjani if there were no alphabet for a writing system, like no words at all. Let us know and we'll see you right after this.
Nah.
TOMz. TOMz.
Aibo, what's yo, guys, welcome back to TOMz, right in SABC 1. Mzansi for sure, we're live and TV.
What's this again, Ndwana? It's still fresh.
It's still within.
I hope you guys are still fresh as well, because you guys are still awake and you're still interacting with us. Thank you so much for all the comments and what posted on Facebook about what would life be without our alphabet. Yes. But before we answer that, asaman sepegan guti sakifani on the other side.
So just tell us about what some of these symbols mean to you and how you interpret them.
Okay, so my understanding is these symbols, well, with this one, the meaning of this one is baby girl, which is one that we have also on our left here. And then the married woman is one that's behind us up here, which is like a diamond with another diamond inside it. And then we have the male symbols, which is basically two triangles facing each other, which is one of them is here as well.
Okay. And you know, for instance, with this backpack, what we've got, you know, so we take the male symbol, and we notice that the male symbol is composed of two triangles. And we see that, you know, we've got the female symbols. It's also composed of two triangles, you know. So when we take apart these triangles, they also have meaning, as I understand it, right? This triangle is a downward facing triangle, meaning isoga, and then this one, or an unmarried man. And this one is a upward facing triangle, meaning intombi, or an unmarried woman. So we can also associate these in Isbeke with vowels. So this becomes an A, and this becomes an E. This one would become an A, and this one is an O, right? A, E, A, O. So in Isbeke, we start with a triangle, which we call Ibeke, and then we add different lines on the triangle to create the syllables. So if I wanted to write Umutwa, I would write it like that. U, because it's a vowel facing upwards, which is an U. Then it's another vowel facing upwards, which is a, and this is a female symbol that creates M. So that's mu. And then this is a downward facing triangle, meaning A. The line across gives us the T. And the two lines give us the W. So we get umutwa. Umutwa. So in that way, Ispeqe relates directly to the female and male symbols that you've talked about, which we find so much in like in traditional arts, in beadworks, in baskets, in pottery, in the house paintings, igwalo, amagwalo, esketu, those things, as you've spoken about. So we've drawn on these substantially in the explication of Ispeqe and how it works, with the direction of the triangle referring to the quality of the vowel, and the symbols within or around the triangle adding the consonant sounds. Yeah. If I say taurai, I would say ta, u, ra, I, taurai. If I say upule, u, pule, upule. So as you can see here, Ispeqe relates directly to these symbols that Ubab Credo Mutwa has expounded in Endow My Children. So that's why we're here. I really appreciate the work that you've been doing, and I hope we can continue. I'm you have a lot to speak about. I know, sir. Sure, before it. So those are the impaws the scene when we're here. So hey, this culture, yokubhala, the symbology, ubuciko, it's very old, and there's a lot that as youth we haven't discovered about who we are and who we are in this place. So we really appreciate to be here, and I hope you follow Ispeqe in the future, Dite Matsadinoko, and these impaws zesintu imopule. Sure.
Ukubhala nokufunda kuvuselela ingqondo ngendlela eziningi ezizokwenza ukuthi ukhumbule izinto, especially when studying. When you write something down, a specific collections of cells in the base of your brain get stimulated. That acts as a filter for all of the information your brain needs to process. So when you write something down, your brain is actually processing it at the same time, which helps you to remember it. Ukubhala or thinking about things in a story also helps you remember. When real-life experiences are represented, more parts of the brain are activated, kickstarting memory better.
Sesifikile futhi leso sikhathi bafethu la khona sinivakashela khona ezikoleni zenu hlale phansi sinethezeke sibhala u4 yayibona leyo nto lapha ke uma uyayibona abamuni kude wakho, all you have to do is simply go into our Facebook and Twitter pages lapho ke uzothola ithombe ufike ushaye ulike, ucomment, ushare yayibona leyo nto noma ke uma usafuna iTOMz esikoleni sakho, all you have to do is simply drop us an email on tomz@sabc.co.za and thina sizofika. Kwamanje ke let's see what went down.
Hello guys, how you guys doing? Look grand, limonade. Okay guys, I want to know, how many languages can you speak?
5.
How many languages? 5.
11.
11.
3.
Okay guys, it's very important for you to learn your home language. You are going to home language again. Home language. So guys, it's very important to know your home language, right? Because it brings the culture closer to you. So in terms of if nabangana bangayazi home language yabo or nani you guys want to learn another language, you can go to a library, grab a book, yalo language leyo uyifunde, and in no time uzabe so understand ukukhuluma leyo language. It's very important to be diverse. Ngoba la emhlabeni we want to travel, sikhuluma ngisho ama language angale abroad
Yes, overseas languages.
Most steps so uzofunda ngisho noncane.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Ukubhala has been around for thousands of years and siyazi bafethu ukuthi kusazoba khona for the next 1,000 years. But anyway, asibone ukuthi kuzabe kenzakalani. Where's the future?
There'll always be a relationship between the written symbol and the way it is pronounced. We'll have to pay careful attention to how language is used differently in different parts of the world. The word for that is dialects. People from different parts of the world pronounce the same words differently than others. More of our writing will be happening in the digital world, and abantu abaningi will use more symbols to represent ideas and concepts.
Yo mina bafethu ngiyayithandela ukubhala futhi nokufunda. Ngisayibuza kahle kahle impilo yethu ibingaba njani without ama alphabets.
One of the greatest advantages of the alphabet esisebenzisayo, namely the Latin one, is that it is shared between many different languages. Lokho kusho ukuthi it simplifies spelling and understanding significantly. So, what if we didn't have these alphabets esisebenzisayo? We would have to rely on symbols and pictures alone. Now, that would be great. Kodwa, when using symbols, it is much harder to make sure you don't make a mistake. For instance, if you misspell something, umuntu can still understand more or less what you mean. Kodwa, with a symbol, it can go the wrong way quite quickly. Apart from that, if we didn't have a common writing system, how would we understand what we were trying to say to each other online or on paper? It would be like we're all speaking a different language at the same time and not understanding each other. Like, yeah. Aha mfethu TOMz iniphathele indaba ezimnandi khona lapha emakhaya.
Njalo kayi beshane yazi wasinomele sethanda ukuphisa nangokufika ixesha lokhu.
So wena lapha ekhaya ufuna i-idea episode ufuna uyibona khona la ku TOMz, all you have to do is
send us the idea bafethu, and if it's fresh and brilliant, we'll make it a TOMz official episode khona la ku SABC 1.
And not only that, kaloku beshane, you get a goodie bag as well as keep us up TOMz 1.
So wena lapha ekhaya, all you have to do is send through your ideas on Facebook, which is facebook.com/TOMz. On Twitter, we are simply @TOMz_SABC_1.
Nakanjalo bafethu, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning into TOMz njengenhlali yenza bafethu. Nkhumbule sitholakala 24/7 on our social media pages on Facebook na go Twitter. Nisharele itori zenezmangazayo when it comes to writing and reading.
Of course, bafethu, if you don't know our handles, ngizongitshela manje ne. On Facebook it's TOMz, on Twitter it's TOMz_SABC_1, or you can simply go to our website at www.tomz.co.za for more info. But until next time, myself and Sia, Sizonbona. Bye.
Bye. Here's what's coming up next time on TOMz. Now she is one of Mzansi's dance stars of the century and here to show you how it's done. Tola kabanzi about the amazing life of a dancer in between the rhythm. Tola kabanzi what defines a high heel shoe. Abantu have been grooving for thousands of years. Check out the history of dance. See where our amazing world is going with it in future. You can keep your body in happy shape by trying out dancing yourself. Ungakhohlwa ukubukela TOMz every Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. khona la ku SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.